Welcome to This Week in Charts. Today is March 2nd, 2022. Today's agenda, where the major averages are heading, my opinion only. Then we'll look at Bitcoin, Facebook or Meta, plus 4 more stocks. Let's get started. This is the S&P 500's performance. It's down 9% year to date. It's plus 13% over the last 12 months, and it's 10% off its all-time high. This is a chart of the S&P 500. Last week, it tested this 4,100 level and held and bounced nicely. This week, what we're looking for is follow through to the upside. Otherwise, I feel like we might get another test of this 4,100 level. If the 4,100 level breaks, the next downside target is 3,800. That's a little over 7% to the downside. As long as the 4,100 level holds, I think the trend is sideways to higher. The Nasdaq 100 is down 13% year to date, plus 9% over the last 12 months, and it's 15% off its all-time high. This is a chart of the Nasdaq 100. It's similar to the S&P's chart. Last week, it tested this 12,500 to 13,000 level right here and bounced nicely. Like the S&P, no follow through to the upside. If this area gets tested again and breaks, the next downside target is somewhere near this 11,000 level. That's another 12% to the downside. But until that happens, the line of least resistance is sideways to higher. The Russell 2000, it is down 10% year to date. It's down 9% over the past 12 months, and it's 18% off its all-time high. This is a chart of the Russell 2000 index. From January of 2021 until this January, price traded in a very narrow range from roughly 2,100 to 2,350, somewhere right around in there. In January of this year, it broke the bottom of that range to the downside and sketched out a bottom somewhere around 1,900. If it breaks 1,900, the next downside target is going to be somewhere in this vicinity, somewhere around 1,700. That's about another 11% to the downside. Until this index can retake and stay above the 2,100 level, the trend is sideways to lower. Bitcoin is down 9% year to date, down 11% over the past 12 months, and it's 37% off its all-time high. This is a chart of Bitcoin, and honestly, there's not much to see here. It is trading in a huge range, roughly 32,000 to 64,000, and until this range breaks, either to the downside or to the upside, there's really not much to do but watch. I'm not going to cover Ethereum. Ethereum's chart looks almost identical to this, except the numbers are a little different. And like with Bitcoin, I'm just waiting until either one of these ranges are tested. This is the performance of Facebook. Facebook is down 38% year to date. It's minus 19% over the last year, and it's 47% off its all-time high. These are a few valuation multiples for Facebook. You have price to sales in the top left corner, price to earnings in the top right, EV to EBITDA in the bottom left, and free cash flow yield in the bottom right. All these multiples for Facebook are at or near all-time lows, or in the case of free cash flow yield, all-time highs. This is a chart of Facebook. Last week, it tested the support zone between 200 and 220. And so far this week, it is down here testing again. There's been no follow through to the upside. If this 200 level breaks, price enters the broad range of 140 to 200 that it traded in from March of 2017 until May of 2020. For me to be a believer that this stock has another shot at making all-time highs, it would have to get above and stay above the 300 level. But by the looks of this huge bar right here, that happening in the near term in a year or less seems unlikely to me. So until now, the trend is sideways to lower. Twilio is down 35% year to date. It's down 56% over the last 12 months, and it's 62% off its all-time high. This is a chart of Twilio. Last week, it tested the 150-ish level. That 150 level served as the top back in 2019. During the pandemic, it broke above that, and now we're back here again, right around the 150 level. That level attracted buyers. So far, no follow through to the upside. If the 150 level goes, then it's going to enter this broad 80 to 150 level. And I'm sure there's going to be buyers somewhere up in here. But until this stock can get and stay above the 240 level, I think the trend is sideways to lower. Spotify is down 35% year to date, down 50% over the last 12 months, and it's 60% off its all-time high. This is a chart of Spotify. Last week, the stock tested this 140 to 160-ish level. That level was the top of this previous range going back to October 2018 until May of 2020. If this level breaks, I think it's going to enter the bottom half of this range, and I think there's a good chance that we could see a retest or maybe even a new all-time low down here around 104. For me to be a believer in the upside, this stock needs to get back above this 220-ish level. Until then, I think the trend is sideways to lower. Square is down 21% year to date, down 44% over the past year, and it's 55% off its all-time high. This is a chart of Square. Last week, Square tested this previous range top around 80 and had a huge bounce. Now, so far this week, we have had no upside follow through, but for me to think that this stock has another shot at all-time highs above 280, it would need to get above 200. And just looking at this huge range, in the next 1 to 2 years, that seems highly unlikely to me. So until that happens, I think the trend is sideways. Lululemon has fared a little bit better than the others. It's down 19% year to date. It's plus 2% over the last 12 months, and it's 35% off its all-time high. This is a chart of Lululemon. Last week, it tested this 260 to 300 range. This range right here has attracted buyers going all the way back to June of 2020. It's back here again. If this support zone holds, my first upside target would be this 380 to 400 level. And in order for me to think that this stock can make new highs above the 480 level, it would need to trade and stay above 400. Otherwise, I think we're going to chop sideways to lower. Thanks for watching this edition of This Week in Charts. See you next Monday.